Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and today we are going to continue our coverage for the Daily Headlines Report. But first, one quick-ish announcement. Just remember that today is the final day to go and enter for the Tactical Christmas Stocking giveaway. Uh, I saw some entries today this morning, so there's definitely still time. Now, the drawing is tonight, so part two of announcement is today is Workshop Wednesday. That is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I am in Ohio. That is my time zone, so adjust accordingly to where you are. Because we did over on Facebook our good morning shout out and what state you are from, and boy, there was a lot of states. We had all sorts of people from Kentucky and Tennessee, another fellow Ohioan. We had people all the way from Texas. Can't forget Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was definitely in there strong. All the way up to Alaska. So if you're watching from Alaska, hello from Ohio. So, all right, enough of that. Today was a kind of a weird day for me personally. I actually left work early. If you can't tell, I just woke up from a nap. So I'm feeling better, at least better than I did this morning. So as long as everything holds, it's going to be a fun night. We will definitely go live. Don't worry about that. But going through, I was very confused on if I was reading things correctly. So today's headlines report might be a little fun on the opinionated side. Let's just jump straight into this and see what happens. Okay. Again, in no particular order because this one's definitely not in any order. So first, Sweden and the U.S. have officially signed a defense agreement. Now, in this agreement, from what I can tell by reading through what I did, this basically allows the U.S. to access 17 military bases, 5 of which are military airports, and I think one kind of like a military civilian airport. So that's a bit interesting. Keep in mind, there's some conflicts going on right now that was about NATO's expansion. I'm gonna leave out alone before I get in trouble. There's a lot to be said there, and that might even deserve its own video at some point in time. But you make your own assessment. Let's just move on. And actually, real quick note to that. So I skimmed through. I mean, I read a decent amount of what I could find on open source, but I skimmed through looking specifically for one kind of single word. And from what I can tell, this agreement specifically does not mention nuclear weapons or any sort of nuclear policy, but it does kind of allude to certain types of weapons. So I hate that gray area stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. Next, the U.S. has deployed 2 hypersonic B-1B bombers. They are currently in Turkey. They're basically saying that they were deployed out of the possibility of a military escalation with Iran. Keep in mind, these are strategic nuclear capable bombers. They were posted with some videos that they were doing some quick fuel training. So they were landing quick fuel, take them right back off. We'll see. Just data point from now. Next is the U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen came out, and one of the things that seems to be circulating all over the place is with one quote from her, and it basically says that the U.S. U.S. Congress will bear responsibility for the Ukrainians' defeat if Congress fails to approve more aid. So, for me, whether that's true or not, that's up for you to decide. For me, that statement is a pass the buck. That's a pass the blame. That is, you do this because if it happens, it's your fault, not my fault. So, it's childish games, but again, my opinion. Next, the Israeli army has announced that it is using artillery on the southern lands into Lebanon. This is maybe a possible indicator that their troops are close to some Hezbollah positions. There has been some things that have been kind of said on some social media by different officials and other people that kind of alludes and hints towards maybe starting to encroach and push Hezbollah back. So we'll see. We'll see. Without an actual official statement, along with an actual action, just words, just a data point. Next, Yemen has issued a threat that said that they will close the strait if the U.S. does indeed send a naval task force, which we discussed yesterday. Now, just a note for this strait is important. Why? Because an average of about 4 million barrels of oil travel through it every day. So, if they close this, that's a problem. The big thing is, we said this in yesterday's video, I believe we've already sent that naval task force. So unless they call out there and tell them to do a full stop or about face, I'm pretty sure they're on their way. So just a data point, we'll keep it in mind. Remember, it's Wednesday, it's midweek. The weekends are always when the crazy stuff happens. So we'll see what happens in a couple days. Also, there seems to be some reports coming out. I cannot confirm any of this stuff, but it does look highly possible. It's why I included it. That the Houthis have carried out another possible drone attack on a commercial vessel in the Red Sea. So they are continuing their shenanigans. Again, it's dangerous. It's one of those ones that somebody's just going to make the wrong mistake. They're going to hit the wrong thing. They're going to miss. Somebody's going to get trigger happy. This is just a recipe for disaster, and all it's going to take is one extra splash of something for this cake to be ruined. And I don't want to be around when somebody blows out that candle. So next, it's all over social media that Putin did in fact travel and land in Abu Dhabi for different various meetings. He also has a few more stops before heading back to Moscow. Now, a side note from this is he had to fly through several different countries and had to ask for special permission because he had 4 fighter jets accompany him. Yeah, I would see it. I mean, we have fighter jets that go with us, so yeah, I definitely see it. But the interesting thing is there is still a current arrest warning out for him from the International Criminal Courts. So apparently he don't care, or at least he doesn't care on the places that he's going, that nobody's going to do anything about it. So nor do I think the places that he's going will do anything about it. Let's move on. So the Venezuelan President Maduro has issued an order that the country state-owned companies to immediately begin to explore and exploit all gas, oil, and mines in the disputed territory. Now, I'm saying disputed because according to them, they've already had a vote and have officially annexed it. So they haven't actually gone in there militarily to annex it, but he basically said, hey, we voted, it's ours, go in there and have at it. So we'll see. Now, you also got to keep in mind, side note on this is very unpopulated area. This is the terrain on this is very almost remote and untouched. So there's no major highways, there's no major access points. Depending on if things go down and where they go down, there may not be people around to report on that. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what, if anything, comes out about that. Next one. Now, this one's an interesting, at least to me, but let's see what you think. Drop your comments down below on what you think about this. So, Iran has issued an order to the U.S. government demanding 50 billion, that's with a B, $50 billion for damages for the assassination of Soleimani. So if you remember the last administrations, this has been 4-ish years ago when the drone took out Soleimani. It is now almost 4 years later, and the Iranian government now wants $50 billion for it. Yeah, I have so much to say on that. I'm going to leave it to you guys in the comments to tell me what you think. So maybe we'll start doing that on some of these. I'll pick out one thing in the headlines, and I'll keep my opinion to myself, and maybe we'll have a discussion down there and see what happens. And if you really want to get things a little bit more on the weird side, there is now video coming out of North Korean President Kim Jong-un, which, of course, whenever you say spotlight and weird and everything, he normally comes to mind. That while he was giving a press conference, he broke out into tears, crying, basically calling on the women of North Korea to have more children. I don't even know what to make of that. Every time that I start to justify or try and figure out WTF, I don't know. Every time I go this way and I start on that path and I go no, and I start heading this way, and I don't know. I just thought it was weird and interesting, and so I threw it in here. And let's just round this out. So this one, the United Nations Secretary General has invoked the Article 99 of the UN Charter. Now, that sounds all official and scary and concerning and everything like that. Okay. So I went ahead and I Googled it and I looked it up. Okay. Now, reading through it, this is my assessment. So this is my opinion of reading through it and breaking it down. And I'm going to basically sum it up into one sentence. This basically gives him the right to bring attention to any matter that may be threatening, in basically his opinion, that threaten any sort of maintenance or action or whatnot of international peace and security. I didn't know you had to invoke an article to go, hey, there's a problem. I don't know. When I read that, I immediately kind of got a little head scratcher and kind of, wait a second, what's going on here? Until I looked into it. And I don't know if that's what it is, because I don't know if you guys have noticed. Again, I know that most of you are around my age, but everything seems to be headlines. If you can be really, really creative and put out a really good headline, and maybe the caption underneath the headline photo and things like that, that's it. That's all the story is. People don't actually go in and read the story and see what's going on. And so when they go, they have officially invoked Article 99. Okay, what is it? Well, no, they've invoked it. Okay, they invoked it. Okay, what is in Article 99? Well, they invoked it. Okay, so I went ahead and I went and I want to know what Article 99 was. And so when I went in there and I looked at it, I'm like, so basically, it gives you the power to go, hey, there's a problem. I don't know. Maybe if you guys read it and have a different take on it, let me know. Maybe there's something in there that I read incorrectly, or maybe I took it the wrong way, or whatever. I don't know. It looked ominous. It looked like it could be something major. I don't see anything that even should have an article or anything along those lines to invoke. So, all right. We're going to leave it there. I have other things, but whatnot, but we're going to leave it there for the moment. And the way that everything's going on in the world, the way that there's just so much going on in the news all over everything from local to state to regional to country to worldwide. And I don't know if this is going to go back into that whole CV19er thing of this is the new normal. But my friends over at OSE Tactical made a very good statement of, no, I'm not participating in your new normal. So I'm going to do my own thing. You go ahead and do your own thing. And I just noticed I came into really good clarity when I did that. Must have refocused. I need to start doing that more often. So that was serendipitous. Thank you, SOE Tactical. All right. So that's it. That's all I've got for you today. I will see you guys tonight on the live stream. I hope you guys can make it. Make sure you pop in there on time. We will go through for the first couple of minutes and just kind of chit chat and talk and give our highs and our shout outs and whatnot. But probably about no later than about 10 minutes, man, I'm going to start into it and we're going to announce our winner. And more than likely, it'll get shipped out Thursday or Friday, and I'll even provide that person with tracking and everything. So I'm really excited. This is the channel's first official big giveaway, so I am stoked about all this. So, all right, guys, that's all I've got. I hope you guys have a good night. I can't wait to see you guys hang out with me in the chat tonight. Stay tuned. More information to come. God bless each and every one of you. And above everything else, please remember to remain united because we're all prepping in this together.